Right, the next thing I'm going to do is check the ignition system. So I'm going to remove the distributor cap, inspect what the contacts look like, make sure everything looks healthy. I've not got no cracks in the actual cap. I'm also going to check the rotor arm, again check the quality of the contacts. I'm then going to check that I'm getting the coil, I'm getting the spark from the coil to the HT lead that feeds the distributor cap, and then from there I'm going to check that I get a spark at each spark plug. Now, to help with that and make it quite simple, I've bought these spark plug testers. I'll put an image of the product on the screen. The idea of these, they're quite cheap. I bought them off Amazon. I bought 8 of them, so I can connect each one of these to the HT lead. They're very simple. So you take off the HT lead from the spark plug, you plug that in place, you put your HT lead on top of the tester, and only if the spark plug is actually arcing, you'll actually see also an arc inside here flashing. So if you're seeing a flashing light on the tester, you know your spark plug's getting the HT electrical connection and it's sparking, and you'll be able to see all of them. The beauty of having these as well is you get an idea that the timing's right. You can't set your timing up, but you'll see them flashing in a sequence. So pretty quickly you can establish that all the ignition system is okay. So let's go ahead and do that. First of all, remove the fuse supplying the fuel pump. In my case that's F3. This will stop fuel being delivered while cranking the engine. Next thing to do is to identify and mark up all your HT leads. They are marked up on the distributor cap, but it's better just to, I find it easier just to put a little bit of masking tape around each HT lead with its number on, just so that I don't risk getting them mixed up. I removed the distributor cap and found the contacts quite corroded. There was no damage to the actual distributor cap, but with the boat being 14 years old and this was the original distributor cap, I thought I'd replace it and just eliminate any possible issues that it might be causing me. And you'll see on the photographs quite a bit of difference between the contacts on the old distributor cap and the new replacement. I also looked at the rotor arm. The rotor arm wasn't too bad, but again there was some wear right on the tip of the contact as it rotates around, and I thought I'm replacing the distributor cap, I might as well replace the rotor arm as well, again removing any issues that it may or may not cause. The next thing to do is to identify the HT lead coming from the coil to the distributor cap. Remove that and zip tie it to a convenient point where you can see it arcing across. I use the screw head as you see on the picture. You zip tie it there, leaving a small gap, and then you're ready to crank the engine over and see what you get. Yep. And again. Okay. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, everything checked out on the ignition system. Got a spark from the coil. I've changed the distributor cap for a new one, the rotor arm for a new one. I'm sparking all the spark plugs. They all appear to be going in a sequence. The only other thing I did, just to eliminate it really, is I've read that it is possible that the ignition coil, the module assembly, can break down. So in other words, it's okay at initial starting, but after a little bit of running, the coil can break down. I'm in for the big bucks. The boat's costed me a fortune, as it always does when you try and find things. So I bought a new ignition coil. The ignition coil is behind the distributor. If you follow the HT lead from the coil, you'll see it just tucked in behind. It's a bit awkward to get at. I tried changing that module, tried it, it made no difference at all. So I put the new module away, I've reconnected the old one. They're expensive, but I've got it as a spare for the future. So I've eliminated every possible cause on the ignition system. I'm quite satisfied the ignition system is okay. So I put everything back together. I took out the spark plug testers, put everything back, and now I'll just quickly show you how the engine performed. So as you can see, the engine started, just died again. So I haven't cured anything. I've still got the same problem. The problem being, I can leave the engine for a few days. It needs a good 3 or 4 days. I go, start it up, starts first time, runs for that brief, 30-second period, chokes itself, dies. If you try and start it after that, it will not start. You can crank it as many times as you like. It might cough and split up, but it will not start again. So now I've done the ignition system. I'm quite happy with that. My next port of call now will be to go and look at the injectors, make sure that my fuel injectors are all performing okay. So that's the next thing I'm going to move on to.